All right, so this is your second time on the show. Not
Yes.
too many people come on. Twice.
Oh,
You got to
there are a few return guests.
There are a few return guests,
but not many.
Not many, and now you're
Well, I'm
one.
the official Coffee with Kevin meteorologist.
You are the Coffee with Kevin meteorologist. We originally had Nash.
I don't think you did.
No, I didn't.
I don't. I think he passed before this got started.
He did, and I can't get Bob Reck to come. So,
No.
so it's you.
So you were down our list. I guess we'll ask Chris.
Yeah. Well, that's
not a bad list to be on.
No, I think you're so definitely. We've had the hurricane, so you're full time at Channel 4.
Full time at Channel 4. Last time I was on, I was freelancing over there. I had another job. I was kind of working just the weekend mornings, but now I'm weekend mornings and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm doing something. I've done reporting. I've done the evening shift, the 5, 6, and 10. I've done the morning. I just did the mornings and noon this morning. Usually I'm on noon, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But
so they got you doing whatever.
Right, but as people take off, or if one of our other meteorologists may be doing a new show.
How many meteorologists they have?
We have 4.
4. Okay, cool.
So we have kind of an overlap, but I've done reporting. I've done little live shots, or I might do a segment somehow weather or science related on occasion. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything during the week.
But going back to that list, I mean, when the hurricanes are in the Gulf,
right,
or whatever, not in the Gulf,
or threatening,
I'm turning to you.
Good, I appreciate it.
I mean, like you are the guy. Like you're my guy. You're my Bob Brett.
I'm hoping that I'm keeping people calm when we talk about a storm.
You've done a great job, but let me tell you. So Irma's coming, right? This storm is, y'all are on TV. This is the biggest storm of the entire universe century. And it's
something like
that.
Right.
And you're like, don't worry, it's coming directly for New Orleans, but it's going to turn.
Okay, first off, I never would have said it's coming directly for New Orleans.
Well, you didn't have to say that. You put the cone and the arrow, and
you see, and it's funny because that's what people see. They see, okay, here's the path, the trajectory, and if it keeps going along that line, New Orleans is the bullseye. And granted, at one time that most of the time it would have. But we kept assuring people it is going to make that turn, and I was working that Saturday when we kept saying, look, models are indicating it's going to turn on Saturday. It's going to be a gradual turn because it's moving at, I think it was at 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, it was like
how is it just going to move at a 90-degree angle? It's going to slow down. It will make the turn. It will make the turn.
But I mean, my behind's puckered, man, the whole time, dude. So can you say?
I didn't need that visual. But
can you say that on it? Listen, I know everyone's puckered right now.
I might be able to say puckered, but the implication may be drawn, and I don't want to get into that.
Gotcha. Because we're scared. Like, we're not prepared for that. The pumps, all of that stuff.
No, not even close.
That storm would have annihilated us.
Yeah, we would have been in pretty rough shape from that.
So we're scared. I mean, it's our whole livelihood, and especially things on the show. I have different people on, and we talk about how great New Orleans is, musicians and artists, and from a and you've got the science standpoint, but like from the emotional standpoint, we're looking at that storm like, turn.
And I was kind of explaining that on air because people would comment about, is it going to make the turn? Well, why aren't you telling us it's going to turn? When is it going to turn? Why? And we said, look, we're telling you everything that we see. This is what we see from computer models, from what has been happening, what will likely happen. We're seeing the turn toward Florida. We're in the same boat as you, and I made that perfectly clear. I'm from New Orleans. I have a wife, my daughter, my entire family, her entire family. We're all in New Orleans.
If I'm broadcasting from Vicksburg,
right, that you probably need to get up. But it's not someone that is in New York forecasting a storm that's going to hit New Orleans or Miami. We have vested interests in the city, so we're telling you exactly what we see. And I don't know if people think that we're hiding information or we think it's coming here, but we're not going to tell you that because we're not going to do that. If we think it's looking, I'll try and say it in a calm manner, but I'm going to say, look, it's not looking good. We're hoping it turns, but it's not looking good for us. We'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Even if it's good or bad, we'll be honest with you. And we never saw New Orleans. New Orleans was never in the bullseye for Irma.
Never.
It always looked like it was going to make some turn in Florida.
Just when was it going to turn?
And that was the big question of when is it going to turn?
And that's when we get scared, because then you start, oh, well, they said Katrina was going to turn.
And that was, we got that commented, so many times, and it was, and we had to explain, all right, look, you can't compare season to season, and even in an individual season, you can't compare storm to storm, because each storm is different, each environment set up for a storm is different. And Katrina was now 12 years ago. Computer models are far more accurate than they were 12 years ago. Even the error from the Hurricane Center has shrunk since Katrina.
Oh, okay.
So in other words, their accuracy has improved since Katrina. So models are better, accuracy at forecasting
people forget
is
about
far
how
better.
long it's been since Katrina.
Yeah.
It's 12 years.
It's been 12 years.
Look at what, like, there was no social media during Katrina. And
heck,
look at
I
us
didn't
now.
really discover texting on your phone until Katrina.
Yeah.
That was when a lot of people said, I can send a message and it goes right through, and they can message me back. Why haven't I using this before? Now nobody even talks on the phone. Everybody texts.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a big.
So there has been a
technologically,
huge swing in technology from social media and computer models and weather forecasting from Katrina to now. So there were a lot of differences between Katrina and Irma.
And Irma, yeah. And so, but it's still scary.
It is, and I understood because, again,
You're looking at it.
I'm at the same way, and I'm like,
So
yeah, it's going to turn, but when is that turn happening? Jeez.
So now that you're full time at Channel 4, like, where do you? Because like me, I was kind of like looking at you on Facebook. You know what I mean? I was like, y'all were doing it very regularly on Facebook, and I could see it on Facebook. Social media, y'all. It's a whole
we have all. I mean, this is social media.
Yes.
We've all had to grasp it, and with the storm coverage, and it was kind of interesting this season. We did, and really. It hasn't. I don't think we've even done it last season. With a storm like Irma, there is a huge interest in New Orleans for where the storm is going to go. We understood that. We didn't want to get people nervous by cutting into programming. Well, for one thing, losing revenue dollars from shows that
it's all
air.
About the money, huh?
Shows that air on Channel 4. We don't want to preempt those with our update. And then you have people saying, "Well, why were you cutting into
programming
this
for a
show
storm
or that show?"
here?
That is for sure. So what we did was we went to Facebook, and we would do Facebook Live posts. We would stream it on our website as well as on Facebook.
But it's still good to come and get it from you as opposed to coming to get like somebody be like, well, they said Katrina was going to turn.
And that was kind of what we had to do. It almost got to the point of, all right, well, if they don't see it from us, they'll find somewhere else to get it, and there's a lot of misinformation and fake news about it. So we need to go on there to.
I was trying to get lots of clicks.
Right.
I was like, evacuate.
Right. So you're trying to quell people's fears. You're trying to give them the most accurate information that you can, and you're just kind of trying to settle nerves a little bit. Yeah, we know it's scary, but here's our update. We're going to be on at 10 o'clock. We'll be on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
And you
with
are
the
a
information.
meteorologist.
And I am a meteorologist.
You're not a television personality.
And I'm a vested interest.
Well, you are a television personality.
I am, but it's different. I'm also a scientist.
You're a
and
scientist.
I studied this in college. This
right.
is what I did.
So this
and
is what
I've
you're
been
doing.
on television for near 15 years, tracking systems in the tropics. So.
And you've worked with Bob Brett. You are, in my opinion, you're heir apparent, man.
It's great to hear.
You're heir apparent. You are the guy I want to turn to. You're the, because didn't Bob work with Nash?
Right.
And you worked with Bob.
I worked with Bob. I worked with Carl. Carl worked with Nash.
Carl.
It's the weather community is small. The New Orleans weather community is even smaller.
That's true.
And Nash worked for all of the big 3 stations, so I'm now on 2.
That's true. Yeah, you've got 2.
I don't plan on going to a 3rd, but I'm on my 2nd one now.
Well, Channel 4 has been great for you, though.
They have been an incredible group of people.
That's awesome.
It's been wonderful.
So what's the next thing in meteorology? Where do you?
Social media is huge. Social media is, that is where it's at. And you see even a lot of meteorologists in Florida and along the East Coast, it was almost getting to the point of, all right, I'm not at the station today. I can do a post on Facebook from my house.
Oh, wow.
I can go on Instagram and send out images.
So it's going to be you kicked back on your couch doing
and that's good and bad. It's good that we've got the convenience of being able to do it. It's bad that, okay, this is my day off. Hey, Chris, why don't you shoot us a live post on Facebook, because people want to know what's going on. Wait, this is my Saturday. I think you need to go on with it anyway. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Well, it's like everybody. I mean, we work all the time, you know.
But and it's funny. I was thinking about this the other day. The same people that complain about, boy, news is always on. It's always 24/7. The same people that are complaining about news being on 24/7 are the same people that are always on Facebook. We're trying to compete against Facebook and Twitter. If you don't get it from us, you'll get it from somewhere else. So we have to compete, and so we got to stay on, whether it's on air or online.
So, and one of the things I really enjoyed, and I guess I'm maybe because I'm a nerd or whatever, but
true.
The GOES 16 satellite.
Yes,
boy,
that was huge,
beautiful.
And that is new,
I mean, not beautiful,
this season. Well, impressive when you see a storm that is not threatening us. The GOES 16, it's a much more high-resolution satellite. It's the next generation of satellites. People may not realize the satellites that we had been using for weather forecasting were launched, some in the 70s, some in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
So you're talking about, I mean, just think about the technology in your phone, how much that's improved in just 10 years. We're using satellites that were over 30 years old.
Yeah, from the 70s, I'm doing this on the phone.
Right, yeah.
And we're rotary dial, so did you have to dial the satellite with the rotary dial?
At a time, that was exactly how you would access satellite data in a weather center, was to dial into a satellite, and you'd get one image every 12 hours.
And so
now we get one image every minute.
Wow. So that's what, because it was beautiful. It was
the
clear.
high resolution, they're called floater images of the satellite. Satellite is able to go 16. You've got one image that is all of North America. Then it has different focuses, to put it in a more understandable term, where you've got kind of North America, and then they have floater images where they can focus on some major significant weather event. So
like
if there's
severe, eye of a hurricane,
right, eye of a hurricane, severe weather across the plains, forest fires out west, NOAA can actually focus GOES 16 to a specific area. So when you're seeing those really high resolution satellite images, those are images that are coming in every minute. That's more up to date than radar. Radar is every 5 to 7 minutes.
Wow.
Because a radar has to go through multiple scans to get a complete picture of what's happening.
Composite.
Those satellite images from the GOES 16 high res is every minute.
If you haven't seen those, it's
cool incredible.
To Google
Absolutely,
GOES 16
yeah.
Irma, it'll come right up.
It is incredible.
And I was just like watching, the weather or whatever, and y'all throw that up there.
Yeah.
Like, whoa!
Yeah. It's incredible to see, and it's more impressive watching when you know it's not going to threaten us.
Yeah. That
you hate the devastation, but it's incredible to watch.
You don't want to, like y'all always say, we don't want to wish that on anyone else, but screw them.
We don't quite say it that way. You want
to say that.
And it's funny because if you're a meteorologist for the Weather Channel or for a network, you're not wishing it on anyone.
Right.
Whereas in New Orleans, we're focused on us.
We're wishing
and
it
so,
away.
So that's when you're just make that turn, hit so-and-so, hit so-and-so. Well, it's over
again,
there.
We are not ready for that. We were not. I don't know how anyone can be ready for that, but we are really not ready for that.
I think it settled people's fears when we knew that the levee system was finally up to par after Katrina. Once they found all the mistakes, and it's terrible to say, but sometimes even from engineers and scientists, you need it to fail.
As good as its weakest link.
And you need it to fail to figure out where its weakest link is.
Right.
Well, we saw that in Katrina. We built it stronger. I think the levees are fine. But then we found out that our pumps don't work.
Yeah, the pumps don't work. So the levee wall's great, but if the water's in...
However, if the water's in, we're not going to get it out.
The situation here would have been real bad.
Harvey would have been, I think, it would have eclipsed Katrina.
Whoa.
That kind of rainfall, because we realized that Harvey was a rain event. Katrina was a man-made event.
Yeah.
It was our levees failing.
Right.
We survived the storm itself. It was the levees that failed.
Right.
Harvey, unless you build a dome over your city, there's nothing that blocks rainfall.
Right.
And actually we found out today that Harvey is now on record as the greatest single rain event in the nation.
Wow.
It beat a past rain event in Hawaii in 1950 with 64, I may be incorrect, it's 62 or 64 inches total from Harvey over Texas.
60-something inches of rain.
Yeah.
So our pumps...
Not even close. We barely handled an August summertime thunderstorm.
Which I've referred to as the Landry flood here on the program.
Oh, on the program, okay.
Yeah,
we may not say that on air,
You
but
can't say that
I can't
in
say
Channel
that.
4.
However, but I'll let you.
You let me say,
I
because
won't.
like every time it's like, oh, the August 5th.
The August 5th flood.
August 5th flood. Oh, you mean the one Mitch Landry caused?
I'll plead the 5th for that one.
Yeah. Because I like to remind my viewers, the president of the Sewage and Water Board is the mayor of the city.
Right. That is true, and he is definitely,
That's
buck
it.
stops with him.
Yep. So we'll move on from that. The rest of the hurricane season, we're on the tail end.
We're on the
moving
decline,
down.
wrapping up September, heading into October. The risk for any kind of evacuation storms for New Orleans drops dramatically, especially as we get into October.
Okay.
And looking at computer models, I think we'll be well into the first week of October before we see anything. That's as far out as our computer models go. So kind of putting us into early October, we're still looking quiet in the tropics. As we get further into October, we start getting stronger cold fronts. Water temperatures start cooling. You get the fronts and those upper troughs that keep anything tropical away from us.
Kind of like what happened with Irma.
Right. So we suddenly become in a much better position the later into the season we get, obviously, but especially getting into early and mid-October is kind of when we can go, all right, if anything does threaten, it's not an evacuation type event.
And that's what everyone came to see. So Chris, thank you.
Good.
So they were worried about that. That's what see if we have any storms.
We've been still very active, and we'll still likely see a few more named systems. I don't know if we're going to see any more major hurricanes. I don't want to say yes. If we did it, we'd probably see one more, but I don't think we're going to see any. I think we've kind of peaked at our very active season.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's great news.
So I hope that's what everybody was hoping to hear.
Everyone is stoked. They're
All I
stoked.
ask.
Chris, thank you so much for
No
coming
problem.
in. I really appreciate
Thanks
you
for the
coming
coffee.
by. You got it.
I need
Absolutely.
this to keep me going today.
When you do the morning show, I'll get it for
I
you.
filled it on the mornings the last couple of days. I don't know how I did it for over 10 years, but it's brutal.
It's brutal.
You know.
I know.
We worked together.
We
We
did
worked
work
together at
together back
another
in the
TV
day.
station, and he worked mornings. He got there before I did,
Yeah.
and I was there at about 3 in the morning.
And I was
And you
I
were
was
already
at
there.
midnight.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Lots of coffee, and now I'm into business.
Right. And then, you see, you liked
I
it
drank
so
enough
much.
coffee
You liked it so much, you
that I
decided,
gotta do
well,
it.
might as well join it and get in.
Chris, thank you so much
No
for coming.
problem.
I'll see you soon.
I'll be on Channel 4
Channel
and
4
Facebook.
and Facebook.